Oh, so thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, welcome to this special edition. This is the anniversary of Taekwondo coming upon us, 11th of,
Hmm.
and we're nearly there. And so I'm so pleased and grateful that you can make this, and maybe we can spend some time talking about.
Of course. I'm here. Just
Perfect.
ask, and I've tried to answer in a nice way.
So 70 years Taekwondo. Uh, am I right in saying Grandmaster Boss 57 years Taekwondo?
Yes, more or less.
Wow, sir, that's an incredible milestone as well, isn't it? Absolutely.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You feel it. You feel it.
Well, sir, I mean, you've seen so much, you've experienced so much from those very early days. I mean, Taekwondo was 13 years old when you started, and
Yes.
it's just about to be 70 years. You must have experienced so much.
Yes, of course. I have been through my career in many positions. First as a white belt, and going up to the 9th degree. Of course, it took quite some years. But yes, of course, I remember my first lesson, my first instructor, the history, then all my positions that I had in my life, and hopefully I still can do another years to come to put efforts in many things, many projects. We are still busy with many things, so I'm really happy that I'm still asked to help out in many things. So but I only do the things that I really like to do. I'm not interested in any other projects. I just do the projects that I wish to do from here, from my heart, and with the people that are really close to me, that are not have no egos, and so on and so on. So yes, that's what I want to do.
Oh, wonderful, sir. You've been so active throughout your time, and even now you're just as active, but in things that you love and enjoy with the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
you enjoy.
I still train every day, trying to keep up with the youngsters, which is not possible, of course. But I try to do my best. I mean, that's it. And I always have my son. I want to be example for my son, and also for my students, of course, and also for others. But of course, I never want that my son or one of my other children can say that I did not do nothing. So I try to be active all the time. Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, fantastic, sir. I mean, since we last spoke, I did see you at your seminar, which I enjoyed greatly, and I very much enjoyed that, and look forward to the next one. But we did this about 4 years ago. Um,
Yeah.
since then, I've spoken and had interviews with some other people. Recently, uh, Master Tapalatu, one of your students,
My students,
and
yes.
his father. Must have been, and there's many, and so many people speak so highly of you and your training. Obviously,
Thank you.
they were significant times in Taekwondo.
Yeah, the Tapilato family. I mean, first I was training together with Wijnand, Grandmaster Wijnand now, with our instructor in Groningen. As he was living in Groningen, I was living in my hometown, Appingedam, which was 30 kilometers away. But I managed to go 3 times a week to Groningen. And at that time, I think I was a black belt, and Wijnand, I think, was a blue or a brown belt. And those times, we did not have the red belts. And then, okay, when I left my instructor to start my own gym in Groningen, Wijnand became my student, and that was it. So in that time, I had Henk Meijer, I had Wijnand Tapilatu, I had many good students in that gym. So yeah, that was quite some time ago. Yes, that
Yes,
was
yeah.
quite some time ago.
But people that have gone on to much greater things, haven't they? But they always speak so highly of your training.
Nice to hear if people talk good about me.
Oh, of course, I know Master Hutton as well. I spoke to him. He couldn't tell me, enough about your training and how fantastic.
Yeah, you have these people in the world, like of course. Master Mark Hutton and Tapilatus and many others that are, let's say, ex-competitors that really realize the work we have done together, not me, we have done together. And those people that have been working on that very high level of training, that always have been very close to me, like Thomas Barada and many other people that I can mention. And this is something that also there, the loyalty from the people remains because they are very grateful to that. Whilst many others, they only have, yeah, maybe not so good words for you because maybe they even don't know you or they don't even know where we went through to get to certain levels and where we are now, what we have to do for that to keep on that level. So it's sometimes it's very, yeah, difficult to understand others, but I understand very well who are close to me.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you shared the floor with the Dojang. You experienced the same things, the levels,
Yeah.
and that
And
bonds you.
also that, I mean, this also makes the big difference, no, in us, no? If you are an ex-competitor and you worked so hard all your life to become number one, and then you become an instructor and you work so hard to have good students that also maybe become number one, and then you want to be always the example for your students because you don't want to be number two, number three. You wish to remain the number one instructor for them. So I mean, all those efforts at the end they pay. I mean, it pays in good reverence for you and so on and so on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and this came from early days for you personally. The level of standard you wanted to become.
Oh, well, who knows, no? In life, you start with something and you never know if this is the thing that you really want to do. But maybe I have been very lucky to find the right place, the right instructor at that time, the right friendship, and yeah, maybe also the right sport or martial art, as we want to call it. And that time in my life, I mean, I was 15. I was the youngest, I think, in the class because in that time 15 years old that was not for martial arts, that was more for the elder people. But really I like the sparring. I was fond of the sparring training. So well, yeah, of course, a little bit of luck also you need, but you need also motivation and strength and mentality, character to continue your work and yeah, your
So,
well doing, let's say like that, in the training and so on and so on.
yeah, I know when we spoke about the tenets before, you were quick to mention that it's through that serious level of training that you really learn your character. You learn what the tenets are.
Yeah, yeah, we try to live with the tenets, okay? We try. This is not always possible because in life you have, the ups and downs and you have a big sine wave. But yeah, of course, it can help you to live according them. I mean, they have been set for a reason, of course, by the founder. But of course, we have to live our own life. That's very simple. And we all have our own tenets that we have in the martial art, in our teaching, in our family, and so on, with our friendship, in our social life, which I think becomes more and more important when the age goes on. You also understand that social life is a big part. Good social life is a good part of your being in this ambience where we are. And I really love Taekwondo. I have a lot of passion for it. I really want to do the best for it, for the rules and the regulations, for the training and to create better people and so on and so on. Of course, that has also changed me when I came to Italy. I mean, I became a different person because I'm Dutch. And sometimes I'm very Dutch still, but most of the time I'm more Italian. So it's a good mixture of two nationalities that work together.
Yes, I've tried to experience that myself. We went recently to Amsterdam. We went to the Open Dutch as well.
Ah, ah,
Uh, and I do go to Italy as well. I go to Milan in next week as well. So
ah,
I
good,
try to
good.
experience what you brought to Taekwondo as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we look at Taekwondo, obviously a lot of things have happened. Obviously, it's the times when the founder was here, and obviously sadly, he's no longer here. What do you remember of the times when he was here?
Uh, I don't want to exaggerate too much, but I think that I was one of his favorite students. I think also because when I had an opinion, I said it to him. Okay, and I never have been, let's say, expelled or put aside by him because of my opinion. I think he also respected me very much, which maybe was not so nice for the others that were on my level. But I mean, I just said what I wanted to say. If I had something, and I had many discussions with him, I also had the opportunity to go to Vienna, to the headquarters when he was still alive, to have a talk with him about traditional sparring, about the rules and regulations, and many other things. So I felt very privileged. I have to admit that, yes.
Yes, sir. He was one of a kind.
Well, he was the founder. I mean, he. I am boss with one S. He was the boss with more than two or
Yeah.
three S's. So very simple. But I think I could get along quite well with him because I really put my efforts in many other things, and he really appreciated that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And it's many that obviously did experience that and can remember, but I guess there's so many now students, sadly, because over 20 years have passed now, that never met him.
Yeah.
How would we describe him, do you think? So,
Yeah. I don't know if he was a good father to us. I mean, he was just for us. He was the founder. I mean, everybody wanted to be with him, wanted to train with him, wanted to have a piece of cake from him. This is normal, I think. Like many people now want to train with you, with me, with other very good instructors like Mark Hutton or many others that are in the world. People want to have a piece of that too. But in that time, we only had him. Okay, so when we went to the IIC with him, it was him that was conducting, and he said, today is like this, and tomorrow it was like that. And we accepted that because he was the founder. Of course, things changed a lot because now we are in a group of people. Let's say in your country, you can have maybe other grandmasters or masters that are very well updated with many things because they do many courses, so you cannot tell them any lie. You cannot tell nothing to them because they already know it. So you only have to do your best to be every time up to date with what's going on. And now, of course, every organization can be Choi Hwa, can be ours, can be the union. Doesn't matter. All of them has their own standards. Okay, because they standardize the patterns a little bit in their way, but in the end they're all the same. I mean, there are slightly difference, but doesn't make a big difference at all. It's only us that we cannot make, let's say, an agreement altogether to do something together. This is unbelievable. Okay, that's what we have.
yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. So when Jen was here, one voice, one person, he did all the.
Yeah, because until 2002, we were, let's say, more or less all together. We were not all together, but let's say there was only one ITF in the world. I mean, I did the last World Championships in Rimini. I organized in 2001, and we had 72 countries, and never happened again. Not even now.
Yeah,
Now, any organization cannot get over 55, maybe maximum 60, but we have 72 because everybody was there at that time, and there was only one per category, and we had 754
yeah,
competitors. That was at that time, wow, and only one per category, only black belts. It was fantastic.
yeah,
So when I look back to that, that was of course a quite big event, and still people in their mind who was there, who was participate. But if you ask many people, they don't even know, they didn't even remember, or didn't even have a clue that we had the last one in Italy.
yeah.
So I'm very proud of that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I know many competitors from that one as well, and
Yeah,
they always talk about that was the one, you know. Yes, sir.
I
Yeah.
think so.
So the future is changed now. It's different. There are different organisations. They have their own standards.
Yeah, well, when we
Still
split,
quite
let's say
fun.
2002, when we had the first split in Vienna with this extraordinary congress, where General Choi fell out with his son, so his son left and made his own group. Okay, it happens. I don't want to fall out with my son because I'm afraid of him. Joking. No, but I mean, this was foreseen for a long, long time already, because it started already in the end of the 90s. When some grandmasters came back to the ITF, and I mean, there was all the reason for that, but I don't want to put that on the table in this podcast. But of course, I know more what was going on than that the people know, for, let's say, for legitimate matters, because I know about that. And then, of course, we started to work, and then also the North Koreans, they were not happy that we wanted to continue with the constitution of the ITF, which said that the senior vice president, in case of the death of the president, would take over. But the North Koreans, they didn't like that, so they also split it. So at that time, we got 3 organizations, and now we also have at least, I think, about 40 organizations of the ITF in the world,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to be under the other one. Nobody wants to put some water in the wine to make some agreement. And this is our biggest handicap of the ITF, which is a super product. I call it product because it's a product for the world. And it's really a pity that we cannot make any agreements. The presidents which we have in any organization, why don't they call each other and have a coffee together and have a talk together and try to fix something? But until now, it did not happen, and hopefully it will happen maybe one day when we have the right people in the right spots. Who knows?
Yes, sir.
So from 2003, technically, we made this ISC committee. I was a member of the beginning. It was very, very difficult because, of course, the general, he left a lot of doubts in the patents, which was his way of teaching. Anyhow, we got these doubts and we had to settle these doubts. So we make let's say, we try to standardize everything. It took quite some years, but I think that has been done already some time ago. Now, once in a while, there is a small change of whatever, which is not a big change, but just an interpretation of a technique, whatever. So,
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, like you say, when people come together to work on a pattern or some technical issues, is that easy, or is it like a debate? Does everyone say their piece?
I don't think. Of course, we have the encyclopedia, the 50 volume. Everything is written there. Okay, there's a lot of pictures they are wrong. Of course, that we have to admit, because it's also 15 volume. How many pictures are there? And I know how difficult it is to make a book and to have all the right pictures on the right spots. So, but normally when you go to the written, what is written for each pattern, when you have Chunji, there are 19 sentences where it is written what we should do. But there's also missing a lot, even in all the books that are more or less in the world. There is missing a lot in the pattern details. But when we had the first ISC, we had the first one without General Choi, we had it in Germany, and I remember that we went inside. It was Pablo Trachtenberg, Hector Marano, and myself, Grandmasters, and we were lining up in the front of more than 100 instructors, and they were all very skeptical, of course, because why they were not there in the front line, why we were in the front line. So there was quite some discussions going on, but I think I was strong enough to put some people at their place, at the right place, and to give us the chance to work, and
Okay.
then in the future to have all the standardizations done, which we have done already many years ago, my opinion.
Yeah. 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 Sure. So yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And so the future for ITF and Taekwondo, I suppose, 11th of April will be one date that everyone recognises. It's the same thing for everyone. Many groups, many leaders, but it's 70 years Taekwondo.
Yeah, I think the 70 years that there's many things are going to happen now. I see there are many podcasts, many meetings, many Zoom meetings is going on, which is of course always nice to hear about. But I think the main focus should be to get all these presidents that are or leaders of all these organizations in the world to make a summit somewhere in a nice place where they can come together, socialize together. Because in the end, if you are in a union, or he is in Choyunghwa, or he is with whatever, we were all born in the same nest.
Yeah.
So, and many of us, we are still friends. I mean, I have contact with many people that are in other organizations because we are still friends. Well, okay, they choose to be there because maybe for their convenience, or maybe they have more friends there. But in the end, we know each other, and for sure, there we want to sit down and together, and maybe we also would like to train together.
Yeah.
You know, there is always this hierarchy what we have in the ITF. You know, the highest degree should do this, and the highest degree should that. But that's out of the world now. You shouldn't go to the highest degree. You should go to the people who are the best, that can teach better, who has more creativity, which are maybe younger, which think younger. I mean, in my house, my son is the fourth degree, world champion, 5 times. But if I talk to him, he talks different than me because he's younger. He teaches different than me because he's younger. Okay,
Yeah.
so if I see that and I look at that, I think, wow, this is good. The way they are social behaving between each other is good. I cannot do that anymore because I'm 72. I'm not 27. Yeah. So
Yes,
my
sir.
story is much longer. My idea about things is different. In the end, it comes to the same place, of course, because we want the best for it. But the way of being with the people, that is completely
Yeah.
different. And in the past, we only had general joy, and that was the ways. You stand there, you don't move, you do that, and you don't move. That's it. That's completely another world, was it? But it was also nice, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, sir. Yeah. 100%.
Really nice. Every moment of my life, I really enjoyed it, Taekwondo, really. The good and the bad things, also the bad things I enjoyed because I got stronger by that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
The more they kick me, the more they stab me, the better it was for me. But okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you, sir. So yeah, through the years, things have changed. Innovation from bringing other areas of physical fitness training,
Exactly.
science, sports science, and of course technology as well. There's a lot of technology in Taekwondo now. When before,
Yeah, but you know, a kick is always a kick. A punch is always a punch. Okay. Let's say they call it sine wave. I always call it bouncing off the knee, natural way of moving forward and backward or sideways. I mean, that is always the same. To put the power is always the same. It's just a matter of how you put it a little bit together, how you make the people physical stronger, how they can jump higher, how they can jump in the air in Chumu tool and make the kick perfect with the hands, something like that. I mean, this is all things that you have this ability, or you create this ability by training facilities and so on and so on. So that I can see now in the trainings I see on, because I am also on Facebook, of course, and Instagram, and I go to very many let's say channels to see how I can improve this or we can improve that. I mean, the physical training that you said before is completely different than we had in the past, because we did not that we had, that was it, push-ups, stomach exercises, crunches, and more or less that was it, no? But now you have 10 methods of crunches. You have, anyhow, it's beautiful to see what people now have for creativity, how they teach. Really nice. I
yeah,
learned from that. I learned from that when I go to the gym, and I see also my second degrees teaching, and then my son teaching. I learned from that too. I use that too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so so Taekwondo over the years shaped many lives, impact many people. We've seen it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Empowers.
Yeah, they call it way of life, no?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
way of life. And of course, you need the motivation, like I said before, the strength, the mentality, but you also need luck. Okay, what is luck? Luck is to find the right gym, the right instructor, in your private life, the right person next to you. You need to be lucky what kind of gym you find yourself, you feel comfortable. Is it your second house? Many thousands of things involved in going on in your taekwondo life. Okay, now I know that most of the people will arrive to 9 degree, but if we go back 20 years ago, it would have been much difficult to get to that degree, maybe in that way of that we had the ambience was a little bit different. But now, of course, yeah, everybody goes 5 years for this, 6 years for this, 7 years for this, 8 years to go to the 9th degree from your 8th degree. And people go on when they are 60, 65 years old. They apply for the 9th degree and they get the 9th degree. So that means they are grandmaster. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you are 45 years in the arts, in Taekwondo, in ITF, then you also deserve it. If you are good or not so good, I mean, you also deserve it because you have been loyal to the ITF all those years. And it doesn't matter if you are with us or with Choi Wow or with the other ones, doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I respect all the people that arrive to certain points. I respect that because they have to put a lot of efforts to come there. Okay, maybe something only twice a week. Maybe the other ones think 5 times a week. It doesn't matter. You have been loyal all those years, and that means also in your family life, they always have been part of your life in Taekwondo.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. And how does it feel to have the titles? I find the titles tricky to get used to when I first had master. You want to do justice, and you feel you want to be the right person.
You know, we have to go back many years ago that when the General Choi passed away, then these three ITFs went on, okay? So what was the strategy of choosing who could become a 9th degree? Because at that time, he was a 9th degree. Grandmaster Rikia, he was a 9th degree, and someone else was 9th degree. But okay, at that moment, Grandmaster Tran, he became our president. So there was the situation in the board meeting. I was a member of the board. I think at that moment I was the treasurer of the ITF in the first years. So the question was, what are we going to do with the promotion for 9th degree? I was, let's say, in the beginning, I was like this. I said, in my opinion, we should just remain 8 degrees. But the 9th degree can be the president of our federation, who is also an active practitioner. But that was not a very welcomed by others. I can assure you, because if I was 8th degree or 9th degree, for me, that didn't make a big difference, no. But then you come in the circle. The circle is already when you are, let's say, in your country. You are a 5th degree, and you say, "Oh, 5th degree is more than enough. I don't need to be 6th degree." But then your spouse or your president of your organization say, "No, no, you have to go for 6th degree, because otherwise we will go for 6th degree, and you remain behind." Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I think this is one of the main reasons that we always want to continue to be, let's say, not ahead, but in line with the other ones. I don't
Yeah,
know, is this good or bad? I don't think this works in a military service, because you can be in a military service a colonel for all your life and you never become a general.
yeah.
So I had that a little bit as an example that could be
Yeah.
used for ITF, but no, there was no way. So in the end, I also became a grandmaster many, many, many years ago.
Oh, I understand. So thank you for explaining
Yeah,
it.
that's already 14 years ago.
I think for when my students were really pleased, that kind of made it feel better. You know, for them, it's important for them and me, of course, for master. But yeah, many have walked that path before me, and I think we all want to be like them. You know.
Yeah, no, of course, you also want your own students, no, to be graded, no, to continue their
Yeah,
life
absolutely.
path in the ITF. So one day they will be 4th degree. They can put the stripes, and they will be very proud because they are the stripes. They are not the youngster first, second, and 3rd degree anymore. And then they can't wait to go from 6 to 7 because they have maybe a different. We have a different stripe. I don't know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other ones, but okay, we have another stripe inside the white stripe. We are beginners again, but okay, and it is just evolution. So
yeah.
then you see your friend who wants to go for 8th degree. You say, "Oh, so I also have the time, so I also will prepare to go for me 8." And this is
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the circle of life.
So what?
But now we are many 9 degrees, and we are many 8 degrees, and we are many 7 degrees. So the word master, which is now a normal thing, us was master. Mamma mia, that was something. Yeah,
Yeah,
you really looked up to the people that had the 7 degree.
yeah, yeah.
Really, that was something. But now it's normal.
Who was the first seventh degree you met? So do you think? Do you remember or?
Oh, wow. In my country, I don't remember. To be honest, I don't think that in my country. No, I don't remember. Maybe one Korean master
Yeah,
could be in that time in the beginning. Yeah, Grandmaster Park Young-soo for sure, who was Master Park Young-soo.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was my idol in the 70s. No, and that was something. Wow, unbelievable good. And then I had Master Kim Kwan-il, who was the 7th degree in Germany, where I went every year to train from 1973 on. I went many years to Stuttgart to train with him because I wanted to learn more, and my instructor did not have that knowledge. But okay, that was a different time. So hard to say. I became a 7th degree quite some time ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And my first degree I got in 1972.
So I suppose back in the day, the typical student at the beginning of Taekwondo would have been 19 to 24 in the military. Nowadays, a typical student can be any child from a certain age, and we certainly have people starting in their 40s, 50s. Have you seen that as well? So, do the different age groups now that begin?
Well, of course, there has been a big change in those years, no? Because let's say in the beginning of Taekwondo, we had no championships. I mean, in Holland, we had one per year. In European Championship, the first one we had in 1976. So all those years before, there was almost no international competition. So when the competition started, the training changed a little bit because it was more on the competition side. So I think in that moment, the younger people started to come more and more and more. So let's say after end of the 70s, something like that, maybe we could see a change of many more youngsters to come. And now they have the kids classes. I mean, 4 years and older,
Yeah,
because it started with the Tigers. That was done by Master Lear. That was a really good program, unbelievable good. Unfortunately, they did not make it together in our ITF for whatever reason. I know the reason very well, but okay, it doesn't matter. So we got the ITF Kids program done by Grandmaster Nardici, which is also a good program. But I mean, everybody does what he wants in the gym. There is no standardization which has
yeah,
been followed in on international level, because I see also in our organization the ITF Kids courses are almost not done. So
yeah. So yes, we have a great age range now, and obviously for some, the youngsters may come through and compete and become, but champions, national, international champions. They may have started very young,
mhm.
but for some, they'll never experience that. They're in the older age group.
No, of course, for the older, it depends how your groups are fixed in the gym. No, for
Yeah,
example, if you are in a school gym, you have fixed hours, so that means that your students are limited. They can only train maybe 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. They can't expect to become a world champion. Yeah, that's always what I say when I teach somewhere. In my gym, I have most of my students train 5 times a week. They come every day to train.
yeah,
Okay, they have a chance to get selected for the national team, to go to the Euros, maybe selected for the World Championships. So that's a big difference, because that's for them. They are lucky because maybe they are close to the gym. They can combine it with the study. So at this moment, I think I have 18 competitors that are on a quite high level. Not me. I mean, my son has them. I teach once in a while. And yesterday evening I have been teaching to them, but normally Timothy does the job. So I mean, it's all about how what the facility you have that brings the top competitor forward.
Yes, so yeah, the competitors are in all the time. So what about the person that can't do that taekwondo without a competition? Is that okay?
Good question. Okay, first of all, I think it's very important that okay, if you have competitors, high level competitors in your class, that's not a benefit. Not a benefit at all for the class because they are too good. They can't they can't spar with the other ones because they hurt them.
Yeah,
People will go away because also in the end you will put a little bit more attention to them and not to the other ones. So you have to split the class. That means you have to teach 1 hour more so that the competitors group is a competitors group and they feel elite. Okay. And the other ones are amateurs. They can also enjoy Taekwondo,
yeah,
but they are not competitors. They are just amateurs and they train Taekwondo for physical things, for being well, to have a nice group, for the social life.
yeah,
That's something else. If you can create that, then you can have a good gym with many people. I mean, if I listen to my wife, she always said, it's not good to have all these competitors.
right, right.
Because my top competitors, they train every evening. Every evening we have the Taekwondo and maybe sometimes also together with the kickboxers. They train together, but it's 5 times a week because we have the service to give to them, and we have our. I have not my own gym. We have not our own gym, but we are in the gym where I have my own hall, so I can do in my hall what I want. So this is also another privilege what we have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's similar to us. That we have a group that have just progressed. So we have them separate to
Yeah,
the main group,
super.
and sometimes they change over. Sometimes from main group they come in, but we can
Yeah,
train them harder and so on. Yeah,
and also, for example, what we do. Let's say I have a junior, okay, which is 14, 15 years old. That is a black belt, and they want to be in the competition group. Okay. Then I said, okay, what do you want? Why? Yeah, because I want to go to the Euros. Ah, okay. All right. So, want to talk with your parents. So let your parents come to us and we have a talk with them because we have to tell them what means to be in the competition group. So the parents come and have a talk with me or with my son, and we tell them right away what it means to be in a competition group. It means to train at least 5 times a week. Okay. Then economically, can you afford to send your students to a European Championships, to the World Championship, to the World Cup? It will cost you so much a year because the parents have to be involved in the first place
yeah,
because they are the people that have to pay the monthly fee, the traveling in the country, outside the country, whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, if this is okay, if the parents are okay with that, okay, then we say, okay, come in the competition group. Not because you are good, because if you are in the competition group and you cannot go for the Euros because you don't have money, there is no need to be in the competition group then. Sorry for them, of
yeah, yeah.
course.
But you have to be upfront, don't you? Because obviously there's costs involved,
A lot.
and then you have people on. Yeah, absolutely.
If you're on the highest level, I mean, if I go to Timothy's, let's say, when he was still competing for ITF and for WACO, it cost me at least 6,000 euros a year. So we talk only about, let's say, traveling, competition, sleeping, and so on and so on. And then also have nutrition. You need one. You
Yeah,
need one for massage at least once a month to go for a good massage. You need a mental coach. And that brings you to the top level, and it will keep you for a long time at the top level.
yeah,
If you do not have all those things, then in the end you can become a world champion maybe once, maybe because you were good and you also have been a little bit lucky with a draw, but then maybe one time and then maybe finish because you don't have all the right people. I always compare it with tennis. When I see the people in tennis, I see how many people, how many coaches are sitting there.
yeah,
Okay, we have now we have Yannick Sinner, with this I like very much, this Italian guy. But if I see his team, can you imagine how much it cost him
yeah,
on a yearly basis to have
Sure.
these four guys sitting there coaching him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And why he's number one in the world? Because these four guys are the world's highest level people in coaching, in mental coach, and in
Yeah.
preparation coach, and so on and so on. So he's anyhow, of course, he has talent, and so on and so on. So there are not so many people, and it's the same in all kinds of sports. Yeah, and I follow that because I'm very interested that, and we did all these things with Timothy too. The same
Right.
things.
Right. At the end of the day, as a top level sports person, so you can look at the other sports and see how.
Yeah, I think as an instructor, you, me, and all the other ones,
Yeah.
we have to be honest with each other. No, I mean, I have my limits, you have your limits, we all have our limits, and then we have to look for other people that are better in this and are better in that. And there's nothing to do with our ego. That is only to be clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use this one because I cannot do the massage. I use that one because nutrition. I know a little bit about that, but not enough. And about mental coaching is something that I cannot do with my own students. That someone external has to do,
Okay.
because otherwise it's too close everything.
Yes. Yes.
This makes
Yeah.
it nice. It makes it interesting,
Yeah.
because you're working on the highest level. This is fantastic.
Yeah. It's growth, isn't it? It's growing. When things are
Yeah.
growing, you experience it yourself, don't you?
Yeah, when I was a competitor and I compete for the European Championships, I did not have that. I had my instructor, and that was it. We were training in the gym, we were sparring in the gym, and that was it. So, okay, I won the Euros that time, but that was, if I look back, I was a really amateur. Okay, we were really amateurs, but we all had the same passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also training every day, Mamma mia, what an efforts we make. But okay, therefore we are still here.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah. So in that journey, 70 years, the competition has become very professional now. The standard.
Everything, and they have it all now. I mean, they have the draw in advance. They know what time they have to compete. They know which ring. They know everything. We didn't know nothing, nothing. Maybe the day before they told you, well, tomorrow you
Yeah.
have to be there at 9 o'clock. Okay, we will be there at 9 o'clock. Well, everything is in advance. We are so professional also in our ITF. I mean, it's all done and very professional. When you can see on the spot data, the numbers, we are very open. We don't hide nothing. Everybody can see how many competitors we have, how
Yeah.
many we have per category that you don't see in the other organizations. I'm sorry to tell, because it's like that. You can't find nothing. But we are, I think, very transparent. And I think this is also a benefit for many things, that for many people that can see. Plus, we have the streaming. We have many things done. So I think it's a benefit for many things.
Yeah.
In the past, we had nothing.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but this is other people getting involved, technical people,
Yeah,
not just instructors. As
yeah. I
instructors,
could not do that. I'm not a computer. I cannot sit behind a computer and do the game on a computer. Other people will do that. But I have five electronic systems at home. So if I have a competition, I bring my five electronic systems, and
yeah.
then we have the computer operators that do the job. And then the umpires will be there that did the courses, and then okay, everything fits inside with everything.
Yeah. 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 So there's been progress. There's been lots of good things. It's a shame about some other things. Obviously, we spoke about the splinter of the groups and then not being able to come back together. But maybe in the future, as the young
I
people,
To be honest with you, Master, I do not understand that there is nobody of these guys standing up and say, let's do something about this ITF. I do not understand this. Okay, I don't have the power. I'm not in the board. I'm just a normal grandmaster. But really, I do not understand why we do not provide any future for all our competitors that can compete at least once a year under one umbrella. Every organization can be them by themselves. It doesn't matter. We make a big umbrella body. There's this ITF, this one, this one, this one, this one. All are inside. And once a year we have a world, and once a year we have a World Cup. where everybody can compete on the highest level. Well, is that so difficult to do? I don't think.
It seems pretty reasonable.
I don't see the problem. Put the ego to the side. Yeah, okay. Let's do it for our competitors. Let's work for our students, for our children that are Taekwondo. What do we offer them? Nothing. Nothing. So my son is a world champion in the ITF. Okay, everybody knows Timothy Boss. And what? So what? In the end, so what? There's also a world champion in Choi Hwa group, also in the union group in his weight class. So they are at least important as he is. But it should be nice that they will be on the same floor one day, no?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm quite old now. I really put my effort. I want to put my efforts for this. Yeah, really. I really would like to put my efforts to make this happening at least once in my life. Before, as long as I'm there, I really want to see one world championship where all the federations are together.
Okay, so well, we're putting this out now, aren't we? So maybe people will listen and come forward.
Yeah, I'm sure that let's say you have the hierarchy board. Okay, the board. These are the board. They are there if you're comfortable. Okay, and so on and so on. And then under you have all these coaches and competitors. And then I am 1,000% sure that they would like to see this.
Yeah.
They would like to see this.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that we would have something like that once in our life? The first one that we had in 2001 when the general was still there all together, and we could make it happen one more time in our life.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely.
The competitors want that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So let's try to make some with this podcast. Maybe it arrives to someone.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I've been speaking to people about the 70 years, and the seniors, yourself and others I've spoken to, they do speak of one Taekwondo. They do, the people that have been, with General Che, close to General Che, they would like to see one Taekwondo. Maybe that is a big step, but maybe one championships is more achievable.
Yeah, it is. It can be done if, let's say, 3, 4, 5 biggest organization ITM in the world, that the presidents, or let's say 3 from each organization, come in and have a summit together, have a talk together. I don't have to touch. We don't have to touch Choi Hwa group or ITF Union or whatever group. We don't have to touch. Everybody has his own autonomy, but.
Yeah.
At least one time a year, we come all together. We have a big, nice social party. We have a coffee together with some cake, and we have a good time. And the competitors will enjoy the competition. And then we can show also the other one, the WT, who we really are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How good we are, because we are good.
Yeah.
We have patterns are good. The sparring is good. The jumping is good. The breaking is good. Everything what we do is good. So we should try at least to come together once.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can do something about it.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So with as we said, with the anniversary, I'm sure people around the world will be celebrating and enjoying, because the 11th of April we get told that from your first grading. I did, you have to remember. So it's always in your mind. 11th of April. And as I say, we're just away from the 70th. So do you have a message to the Taekwondo people of the world?
Well, my message is always the same. Just keep on training.
Yeah.
That's it. Doing your best, putting efforts, trying to make the best of it. And we all live in our own world, okay? Which can be a very big one, it can be a very small one. But the most important thing is that try to enjoy what you're doing, and enjoy it also with your family members that are next and close to you, because this is not let's say, a selfish thing. This is thing that has to be done with the, yeah, that the family also agrees a little bit. Know what you're doing. No, okay, this is my job.
Yeah.
When I became 25 years old, 37 years ago, I said,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to work anymore. I only want to do this. So I stopped working. I only had my gym in the evening. Said, no, I want to do only Taekwondo. And I made it. I made it. So in the end, I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
And something, always something, some higher and some lower things in your life, but it's also normal in a normal life. But in Taekwondo, I think I try to do my best. I still want to do more if possible.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That is the spirit of Taekwondo. Would you say you have this? There is a spirit.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, everybody of us has his own interpretation of life. But I always say to my students, so if you choose to do this, I mean Taekwondo, then try to do the best, not just do it.
Yes.
Try to do the best. Maybe you never become a champion, but try to do your best. So in the gym, we always push everybody to do their best. Doesn't matter if they are 4 years old or they are 50 or 60 years old. That's it. It works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sir, Taekwondo. I was fortunate to see some of the older grandmasters when I saw General Che, and I saw how well they looked, how fit they looked. In their later years. That to me said, "Wow, I've chosen the right thing." So Taekwondo is life enhancing.
Not for everybody. Not for everybody, sir. Eh? No, there are many, many, many. They just go through their degrees, and you know also yourself very well, but because it happens everywhere. They just go to the degrees with the minimum effort, but it's the same in the life, no, not only in Taekwondo or in other sports. And there are other ones that give it all as much as they can, and they are happy with that. I'm one of those people. I mean, I always try to give it all. If it's acceptable by others, it's okay. If it's not acceptable by others, for me, it's also okay. Yeah, because first I have to look at inside myself, what I put on the table, what I do, and then who is following me, who is in my, let's say, in my line.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. If you're not in my line, it's also okay. Don't worry about that. But if I look back in all those people that are still uh, in the ITF, that are still trying to do their best, there were, let's say, we were in the same line.
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
nice to see that many people did make a lot of progress, and I'm really happy to see that people put still effort, that they are also, let's say, requested by other countries to give seminars. So it means that they put a lot of efforts, and they deserve this.
Yeah.
They deserve this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be proud of yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Be true, proud of yourself, push
Yeah,
yourself, be the
yeah.
best of you can.
Well, not everybody is happy with that. Don't worry. Well, maybe when they know I have a coffee with you, they look at you in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because normally, you know what happens in the life in Taekwondo. The instructor will say to the students, "That grandmaster, be careful, because he is this and this." But his student, so this student already has an idea about you, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then one day, maybe he's in your seminar, he's training with you, and he just get a completely different idea. But in the beginning, he had another idea. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless they have not been with you on the floor, they don't really know you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So until you train with someone, you don't know
No, no.
until you have that personal experience.
And therefore, also, for example, when we do the ITF Elite in Spain every January, this is one of my most beautiful projects, and what I'm doing together with Master Paco Ferrando. We always invite other people coming over to teach. Okay, they are normally a little bit from our group, of course, but there are people there. We give them the chance to teach in front of 300, 400 students. So they also have their goal. And once they see, oh, it's different. Yeah. So everybody needs a chance.
You did this recently?
Yeah, we are now already organizing the fourth one.
Yeah.
But the last one we had in January with 300 students and masters and grand masters. We had many.
Yeah.
And now we are getting organizing the fourth one in January next year. So we are now looking who is going to be the presenters and so on and so on. What we do in the gala. Try to come once.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I like the sound of it already.
Yeah, it's really nice. I can assure you. It's a nice project.
Fantastic. Well, sir, once again, I've thoroughly enjoyed our time speaking with you. I get so much out of this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And thank you for the invitation.